Lisa, how did you pick the neighborhood?
Oh, okay. So, again, so this is the first neighborhood I picked. I said, I would like to do the Anthem Country Club. I didn't really know. They have the highest price point. I picked the Anthem Country Club. David said, no, I'm sorry. Our piece is exclusive. There's already an agent in that area, so you cannot go into that area, which I thought, oh, well, that makes sense because if I start marketing somewhere, I don't want somebody else going in there either. So then I thought, okay, Anthem Parkside. And at the time, Alvin, the sales rep, said, and David, they said, I don't think that the turnover really supports that neighborhood. That would have been a more expensive neighborhood for me. But they said, well, what about this other place called Tremonto? Have you looked at Tremonto yet? And I said, I just never really ran the numbers on Tremonto, but I think that if you guys think it will work, let's do this. So they studied the numbers for me statistically. I mean, I was still fairly a new agent. I didn't really even know how to run numbers on a neighborhood. They kept asking me, what's the turnover? And I'm like, what does that mean? What do you mean turnover? I don't know what you're saying to me. So I've since learned what turnover is. And actually, it's a key element to the piece, because if you don't have high turnover and you're already going against another dominant agent, you're kind of setting yourself up a little bit for a headache. I mean, you're still going to sell, you're going to more than pay for your advertising, but to really dominate a market, you have to have a few key elements. And one of those elements is a high turnover. And the other one is you can still compete with the dominant agent, but you have to have the high turnover to do that. So obviously Phoenix is in Scottsdale, great market for that. And typically agents don't want to spend the money on mailers. So very few neighborhoods are saturated by a dominant agent with mailers. Mailers are expensive. Not they pay for themselves, but they're still expensive in terms of, it's a lot less expensive to go buy a magnet or a calendar or, something that somebody's going to just throw away.
I think, Lisa, that my experience 30 years of doing this, that a lot of people think that the mailers are expensive, and they also feel like they don't work. And I think that a lot of that is because of the content that's on the mailer. And what you've talked on so much about is the consistency. An agent will mail 3 postcards and think I should get 5 listings. No. Mail 8 postcards, get a listing, and then the next year you may get 5 listings, but not the first one. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then the other thing agents do is they try and cut corners. So, at my own house, I get these pieces of paper that are just basically a Xerox copy or maybe a very teeny tiny just sold. And I see maybe, somebody will sell 1 in a year and then they'll send me a just sold or it just listed. So like you said, I get maybe 2 or 3. They're not high end. There's nothing about them that screams, hey, I would do a really great job representing you on the sale of your home.
That's a really good point. Most agents don't understand that. They think, oh, just get the message out and people will call me, versus what the homeowner is looking at is they're going to assess the quality of the piece and attach that to your ability to market. So if you send me a Xerox copy, I think, oh, this is how this agent markets. And what I always like to say is, you think about the marketing on the most expensive BMW, say $120,000 car, and you look at the brochures, and these people are selling houses, and in your market, it's what, 350,000?
We're up to about 500 now.
I love that. It was 3 when we started, but that was 8 years ago.
Actually, I think it was 275 when we started.
And most people don't think they want to do those type of neighborhoods. But again, the turnover was right. There was no saturation at all in Tremonto.